Oh boy.
Negotiations continue.
Sounds like time for a water break.
Excuse me.
Cap, did you check out Harley Quinn yet?
I have not. But I added it to my watch list. Which, is limbo for all the shows that I'm gonna eventually get around to watching.
So,
Come on, I've got like 10 more seasons of South Park to get watching.
stop.
Hey, Holmes, you're Eric, right? In real life.
No, Derek.
Derek.
Oh, okay. So thank you for the recommendation about Harley Quinn. By the way, I last weekend was pretty much just binging.
I don't
Derek,
think he's at his desk.
Oh.
Well.
I think he went to get a glass of water.
From where? The Great Lakes?
You're fired. Alright, so when last we left our party, they were leaving the Bohemian Grove Cemetery with a fuzzy recollection of where the freehold was.
Oh, right, they were nice enough to drop us right next to Easter's car.
Sort of, yes. I'm not going to correct you.
Well, that was an experience.
And your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to locate the Loyalists who have re-kidnapped the escaped changelings and are trying to take them into the Feywild.
Which is a place we do not want to go.
The thing that we know that's different about this and the vampire situation is that they say that they're feeling activity that really suggests that the Loyalists are doing something with the hedge. So
yes.
Because we had a suspicion that it was some other group that might be, essentially framing the Sabbat and the Loyalists.
Yes, that was a theory.
So we have been asked to look into missing vampires and missing changelings.
The missing vampire seems to be more of a do this for me because I want you to prove your loyalty. And the do it for changeling seems much more, motherfucker, I ain't going into the hedge when they're trying to break into the Feywild? You want me there when they're doing that? Are you fucking insane?
Well, I guess the question is, where do we start?
Easter,
Well,
didn't you make a roll to find an entrance to the hedge?
Omar told us where it was.
Right.
It's in a little clearing of trees in a small park not far away from the lab.
Oh, yes.
That's where he said they were taken. But whether that's like the closest entrance that we can find is another thing entirely.
Yes. So, where to?
Let's see, about what time is it in game?
Did you visit the changelings after you had a visit with the vampires?
Vampires, yep.
Okay.
Yep, immediately after.
Right. So I'm gonna say it's somewhere around 2, 3 in the morning. You guys have been driving and hobnobbing for much of the night, but there is still more to go.
I think that we should scope out this place before we jump in the deep end.
Given what they described, time may be of the essence.
I agree.
From what they told us of the Fae, allowing people that escaped from that sort of hell to go back to it.
Yeah, no, it is no bueno. So,
I mean, if you're all prepared to go in, then
Prepared may be a slight exaggeration.
Yeah, I don't think prepared is going to be anything close to us, but I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Question. I don't remember if I took my duffel bag left in the car or if I left it at the hotel.
that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I think that we should possibly put on some practical clothes, Easter.
if you guys want to gear up, that's definitely in the cards.
Excellent.
Probably
Let's
a
gear
good
up.
Yes.
idea.
That's right. The only thing I brought with me was a bowie knife. And I left that in the car most of the time.
Yep,
Yeah, I forgot I was still in my party dress.
I didn't.
I'm in my fancy jeans and t-shirt. Werewolves have a high wardrobe budget, so it tends to be very practical garb.
So, keep track of which of your items that you pick up at the motel, at the Econo Lodge, and you all head to the lab. There is a patch of greenery, a little park between it and another industrial, a dilapidated industrial park. There's trees growing there, but the place looks pretty trashed. It's a haven for cigarette butts, the occasional empty needle, and broken beer bottle.
I'm trying to start to disassociate my mind a little bit.
Ooh.
Essentially, kind of start picking up on symbols and concepts to attune myself to non-standard reality, if you will.
Right. This seems to be the place they were describing. It wouldn't be a bad place to do an. It wouldn't be a bad place to do an ambush, and maybe more so. This might be the perfect. Like, if someone were to take through the hedge as a shortcut. They start seeing the labs going down. The Loyalists see this is their chance to reclaim or take those who are escaping if they know what's going on. These people go into the hedge and then they never come back out. Still, who knows?
Yeah, that seems to be it.
One or the other, and like it would make sense that the escaping changelings would be like, oh fuck, cheese it, quick into the hedge where they can't follow us. What if we find something worse? Worse than the death lab?
Unfortunately,
We'll just go in and out quickly.
In and out. You'll barely know what happens. Did the sound of me smacking my head pick up on the mic? Unfortunate. Alright. So this seems to be the spot. Now the question is, how do you go in?
Well, like I said, I'm trying to attune myself to the spiritual side of things, if I can.
You got your response.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to make of that, but okay.
Not every roll succeeds.
All right.
let's see. Do you think that there would be a door like the one in the cemetery?
Everybody can roll wits and composure to look for a door.
I would love to.
How about investigation?
That'll do. Wits and investigation, or wits and composure, whichever is greater.
Okay.
Wits and composure.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
That should be enough dice.
5 dice and I got a 0.
Aww. You will get to the point where you just automatically know what your wits and composure is. I am not quite there yet.
Well, that's why I played a character that all of his rolls that he got bonuses on were all 6. All of them.
Nice.
Wits and composure, 6. Dexterity and firearms, 6. Strength and weaponry, 6.
I'm saying perception.
That is acceptable. Perfect. So you guys are looking around this little area. Yusuf, you find a small grave. A very small, loose patch of dirt. Maybe the width and breadth of like a cereal box. And there is a little wooden cross, lovingly tied with vines.
This seems like it doesn't belong.
It does.
Pointed out to the others.
Good idea. Very good eye.
So is that a door or a key?
Don't know. I reached down to touch some of the dirt, half expecting it to be an illusion.
It's moist.
Oh. Interesting. I try walking around the little grave site. Is there anything written on the wooden cross?
There is.
Oh.
Charlie, my favorite cat, you were taken too early.
Interesting.
Space. This small park here. Is it at a crossroads? Is it, what is the topography of it all?
It is along the road between the lab's parking lot and another disused industrial park's parking lot. It appears to be a common place for cigarette breaks and homeless people to sleep.
So we found a suspicious grave of a cat. Any ideas?
Well, I've been given a clue, and I am baffled by it.
Easter?
Sorry, say it again. I'm very tired.
Do you have any ideas?
Yeah. I try walking a counterclockwise circle around it.
Nothing happens. There is no appreciable response.
Is there anything underneath it? Underneath the box?
No, there's no box. It's just like the patch of dirt is the size of a cereal box. It just goes to show that the grave was not for something human-sized. And it's confirmed that it was for a cat.
Understood.
And the ground on it is moist. It hasn't rained lately.
No, it hasn't.
Well, disinter it.
Don't suppose you have a shovel in your trunk?
Of course I have a shovel in my trunk.
Oh,
There's no law against it.
That's true. Do you guys start digging up this dead cat?
yep.
Sounds good. You guys start digging. It's tricky. The soil is wet, soaked through,
Ooh.
Oh.
and it smells strange.
I think we're going underground.
Can somebody make a wits and socialize to identify the smell?
Can I have a spell bonus?
Why would you have a smell bonus, Easter?
Because my day job is making perfume.
I
No,
got one success.
Fair.
but that does let you know that you as a perfumer is not coming into play.
Yes, it does. Sorry, it's wits and what?
Wits and socialize.
Wits and socialize. Thank you, Reynolds.
Socialize.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I could take wolf form, but with socialize involved, it's not going to be good.
I got one success.
Good to know.
Three.
Holmes, this
Dang.
is definitely booze of some variety, but you're not sure which. Easter, this
Uh-huh.
is Cult 45 malt liquor. Someone dumped a whole 40 out on this cat's grave.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
That must be the key then.
Well, I think it would be appropriate to make a similar offering.
Do y'all go to your local liquor store and pick up a Mad Dog 2020?
Hell yeah.
Do any of you have points and resources?
I do.
Sounds
do.
good.
Free.
Then, goddamn.
3?
Jesus.
You said if you don't know what to do, put points and resources.
I did say that.
Um, Never hurts. Never. I can't think of a single time where I was like, shit, I wish I hadn't put those 2 points in resources. So yeah, picking up a 40 is trivial, and none of you have any identification issues.
Yay.
So you go to Mike's liquor store, you pick up a 40. No one tries to rob the place while you're there. Thank goodness. And you guys come back to Charlie's grave. Is someone going to dump a 40 out on it?
I pour one out for my homie Charlie.
Pour one out for Charlie. Despite having never met him, you attempt to bond with this dead cat. Make a sweet presence and animal can roll.
Got it. Well, it's not a chance die,
Well, that's good.
but it is not a success.
Yeah, you dump this 40 out on the grave, and you're like, oh, great cat Charlie, let us in the hedge, fucking whatever.
Charlie, my man, let us in.
That does not work.
Huh.
I start stripping out of my clothes again.
You successfully strip.
I take on my wolf form, and I look down at the grave and claw the surface of it a few times, and then growl menacingly.
The grave does not appear to be frightened.
I just wonder if I can frighten Charlie.
Sadly, no. It's not the cat that has anything to do with it.
All right, I'll see if Wolf Nose can deduce anything else of significance.
Make a delicious perception with a +2 wolfy bonus.
It's a lot of dice. 10s are a roll again, right?
Yes, 10s quote unquote explode.
Okay.
Woo! There's a lot of malt liquor in here.
Yeah.
I cannot overstate how many 40s have been dumped out on this grave.
I'll resume my my normal shape.
Anything?
There's been a large amount of this liquor poured out here. Not just once or twice, but many, many times. I'll look at the cross that was put up there and the writing. Do they look like something like a scrap that a homeless person would do?
Yes, but it was obviously created with great care. The branches have been whittled the vines have been delicately tied. There is... Everybody give me a wits and investigation roll.
Sure.
By chance, I have specialized in deduction for investigation. Do I get the bonus?
I'd say you get the extra 2 dice.
Nice.
Baby.
So,
Really good.
Yeah. I'm just going to post it in there, let you all see.
yep, so I'm doing.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, baby
goddamn.
Jesus.
I keep on
8
supposed to.
successes.
How many successes is that?
8.
8.
Wow.
Oh, fuck. Holmes, it's clear that, like, this grave has been defaced many times, but apparently those who knew Charlie always restore it. Like, it's clear
Okay.
that this cross has been knocked over again and again and again, but if it's broken, it's remade. If it falls over, somebody puts it back up. Whoever it is that knew Charlie, whoever they are, they loved this cat. They loved it with their heart and their soul. And it was taken from them too early.
Someone cares greatly for this cat. I'm actually concerned about disturbing the site.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need to do is present an offering that's more than booze.
Currently, the site is pristine, right?
Yeah, you guys have put it back to put it back together, and none of you actually dug up the cat, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
But it takes more than just booze to activate the grave. It takes a genuine sensation of contrition.
Mm.
I'm not usually a cat person.
They don't seem to like me for some reason.
Can't imagine why.
Depends on the cat. More aware cats love you.
I know what we need: tuna and catnip.
It's not a bad idea. Do you guys go down to the local PetSmart?
It's like
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning at this point. Just as
Is
a
there a
note.
24-hour PetSmart?
Fuck yeah, there's a 24-hour PetSmart. So you guys go down to the 24-hour PetSmart and you spend a meager amount of resources purchasing like
Fancy feast.
cat food, fucking catnip, and a fucking and a mouse with a bell in it. And you guys come back to Charlie's grave.
Maybe these tropes are not what's needed. Maybe it's a sincere sign of grief.
I was about to ask, who is it who lays the prize on Charlie's grave?
Well, I'm willing to be the one.
Do it.
Ching!
Make
The
a
can of cat food is open and presented. I proceed to sprinkle the catnip on top of the fancy feast. And I then put the mouse right in front of it.
make a delightful presence and animal can roll with a +3 bonus.
Okay.
Who's a spoiled little boy?
Oh, well, you see,
Let's see, that was presence and animal +3.
Yes.
Special roll there. There we go. Free hits.
There we go. You experience a genuine feeling of sorrow for this dead cat, even though you've never met them. You shed a single manly tear. When you
I once had a cat.
and when you all turn around, you're not in Kansas anymore. Or more accurately, you're not in Illinois anymore.
Oh,
No, we are not.
true. Sorry.
Uh,
Oh, it's so creepy.
the hedge is a network of paths, bogs, and brambles. It seems as if walking off of the appropriate paths is considered to be a bad idea.
Yeah,
Are my
that's not-
companions well armed with like ranged weapons?
Yusuf has a very trusty handgun.
Easter has a 38 special.
The passages in here, do they have long lines of sight, or are they more twisty and turny?
Some of them do have long lines of sight, but a lot of them are very twisty and turny.
Would someone mind taking my duffel?
Yeah, I think I can carry that.
All right, I switch into wolf form.
It's much easier to switch from wolf to war, after all.
Well, I also figured that I might notice things quicker this way,
That's true.
Good point.
and also they can shoot over me.
That's also true.
Look at us using tactics.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all playing so smart. So
So I'll take point.
what
Literally.
what methods are you all going to use to try to locate the Loyalists' ritual site?
I would like to use my find person specialty in investigation
That'll help.
and wits in investigation it.
I would like to use a combination of my my tracking skills and my sense of spirit to see if I can find what path is for ascent in this place.
Sounds good. Make that beautiful tracking roll with your +2 I am a fucking wolf bonus.
I mean, that's what it's called in the rulebook, even.
That's true. You can look it up that way.
I've got a pair of etheric goggles that I'm hoping won't get overwhelmed in this place. And maybe I'd be able to use a wits in a cult.
Go for it!
Try and find a signature of strong magic. Just one.
Yeah.
They didn't explode when I turned them on, so
That's true.
that's good.
You remember we got the those items last week?
Yes.
Oh yes, the
That is-
unfinished tokens.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to track. Tracking is survival, right? Or is it something else?
Yes, tracking is survival.
Okay.
So, you all start heading through the hedge. Dave, I can't remember what your character's name is because it's just labeled Marius.
Oh, sorry, Alexander.
Alexandra. Alex, you're heading through. The scent is strong. Yusef, you can definitely tell there's a sort of an energy leak that's coming from the direction that Alex is leading you all. In short, like, between all of your abilities, you're all able to figure out you're going in the right direction. Through the twisting paths of the hedge. But, Alex, when you find where the trail ends, you're met with a strange sight. You guys haven't run into anyone out here yet. Eyes peeled, passive perceptions rolled. And you find there are parts of the hedge where things open up to little groves or maybe a well, quite possibly a singular bush. Like a lot of strangely like showcased items and objects.
I was just visualizing a little white rabbit with a pocket watch running by, and Alex just snagging him by the back of the neck and shaking.
You might not want to do that, but I understand how it comes to you by instinct.
Yep.
And there are certain parts where the greenery becomes too dense to go through by any means. And against one of these little areas, there is a big drill.
Huh.
It has been set up against the hedge wall, and its bit is not made out of steel. It's unclear what it's made out of. And there is a little track that's been built into the earth, and there's like a little Roomba pushing it.
Huh. That sounds kind of adorable.
Is this laying a false trail?
Well, it's certainly cutting a hole in the hedge. And that is what the changelings at the Freehold were detecting.
I didn't think it would be so literal. What's this thing's power source?
A battery pack located on it.
I would like to try to turn it off.
You turn it off.
Oh. Easy as that. Flip of a switch.
Oh. Easy enough.
Alex is looking everywhere except at the drill.
Oh, right, Alex. I forgot there was one piece of information that didn't make any sense. There should be a lot of sets of footprints coming out here. There are 3 sets of footprints coming in, and 3 of them going back.
This kind of looks like a decoy.
Suspicious that it's unguarded.
Who guards
And
the
so
decoy?
so I had the scent of the changelings who had been taken, right? Because from the matching against their tokens.
Oh, now that I think about it, no, you don't. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that. Oh, no. No. Okay, yeah. Like, they definitely still... Their scent is ambient. They did come in here. But you realize by some fairy trickery, there isn't actually a trail. It's omnipresent. They were here. They may have taken this path even. But as you begin to explore in more, I don't know, in more great detail, you realize you always smell them.
Everywhere inside the hedge. So no particular trail for them, just the trail for these three.
Yes. Now that you've picked up their scent, they do
I'll,
smell very
I
strange.
I'll slip back into human form. There's no limit to how many times I can swap back and forth. It's just an action, right?
You can shift between human and wolf whenever you want. War form is where things get a little tricky. There has to be a threat, or like there has to be a sense of suspense or danger. Like
Yep.
you could switch into war form to pick a car up off an ally or someone you cared about, but you couldn't do it for someone you didn't care about. And naturally,
It needs like it needs like a trigger for it.
right.
Right.
It's a very deeply emotionally draining action.
Only 3 came here. The others, no. I don't understand. I can smell them, but I smell them everywhere. Let me see the tokens again.
We hand over the tokens.
All right, I'll switch back to wolf form, and I'll actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to see if I can do anything with anything shamanic with them.
Sounds good.
Mm.
You hunker down and you begin to focus on the tokens.
I'm still completely naked because I'm going back and forth anyway. So
Right. No point in putting on clothes when you're just gonna have to take them right back off. While Alex is doing that, is there any sort of investigation anyone else would like to perpetrate?
Yeah, I want to try to remove the drill bit from this drill.
You successfully remove the drill bit.
Oh, wow, I thought that would be harder.
It's just
Yeah.
a power tool.
Cool. I'm taking that with me.
I was about to say, would you like to make an intelligence and crafts?
Yeah. It's not technically a chance die.
If there's no chance die, there's no chance of catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
No, just
Hey,
normal
hey,
failure.
Mr. Assist on that?
You may.
You said int and crafts.
Yes.
Got it.
the one thing that Alex would have would she'd have the Bowie knife in case she needs to cut herself.
Makes sense.
I got you.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, Easter, you have no idea what it's made out of. You do know it's not made out of any mundane material. That's not steel, that's not Damascus steel, that's not cold iron. That's something custom made to do this job.
I will inform Yusuf of my findings. Or lack thereof.
Well, then I'm definitely taking it.
Yusuf, make an intelligence and resolve roll.
Certainly. I can do that. Let's see.
Oh.
That will be wow. Okay, that will be 3.
Now that she mentions it, Task Force Valkyrie could probably make something that does this. Although they would probably consider the resource expenditure a waste. Sending something into Fairyland does no one any good.
Can I make an int and politics roll to determine if I know if Task Force Valkyries in the habit of weapon supplying or anti-supernatural stuff supplying? Three again.
They don't sell arms, but there are a lot of things that fall off a truck.
I catch your drift.
Formally speaking, they don't sell weapons. It's probably more likely that the truck drivers themselves are trying to make something on the side. Let a couple etheric rounds fall into the right hands. But it does no one any good in a warehouse. Maybe in the Union's hands it'll put something down, you know what I mean? So it is possible that some of their stock was misplaced or perhaps deliberately supplied to whoever created this.
I keep that fact to my damn self as I pocket the drill bit.
Alex, after 20 minutes of sitting there, hunkering down and thinking, you figure out what's happened. A simple piece of hedge magic. Hedge magic is like witch magic. It's magic that just about anyone can perform, even the unawakened. It's not as powerful as your shamanic abilities, but it's often far more reliable. You use the tokens to dispel the false sensation. The lines that the escaped changelings made are now made perfectly clear. Reverberations of the falsehood being broken makes it clear what happened to them. They all did their best to run and hide, and all of them were retrieved.
Can I track to where they were retrieved to?
Yes, back through Charlie's gate.
Oh. They're not in the hedge any longer.
No, they're not in the hedge any longer.
Huh. So this is all very allegorical for Alex. She's not like a, she's not a chromatic magic. It's all like symbolism.
Right.
They were taken away. Why was this left behind? This thing left behind. Oh. Somebody wanted to create a distraction. We might have been right the first time.
You think that this was a deception by the same people?
They would have to be able to get in here, but we were able to manage it, and we're not Fae. Others might have been able to. That thing does not seem...
Infallible.
It doesn't seem like it would get very far, but maybe it was enough that your friends at the Freehold thought it was something serious. So perhaps the same people who have the vampires have the werewolves.
A voice...
I said not vampires have the changelings.
Right. A voice croaks out from beyond the wood. I saw what happened here. I'd be willing to tell you if you made it worth my while.
From beyond the wood or beyond the hedge?
Beyond the wood. Not poking through the drill bit hole.
I was about to say, I was about to lose my mind.
I was
Draw
about to turn
guns,
around.
open fire! Daka 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 daka! Anyone who wants to look into the shrubbery to find the source of the voice may roll perception.
Yes, please.
Hang back by Alex.
Wow, that's a lot of nothing. Boop.
Let's see. Perception, is that
No, it's wits and composure.
wits and composure? Always. Okay. Ooh, only one.
Oof. Hate to see it.
Alex.
Yeah, that
You can see it.
all right. I hunker down. What is it?
Ah, the hag.
It appears to be some sort of gnarled hag.
So small gnarled hag. You said it was in the bushes, right?
It's in the greenery. It's hiding behind a tree. Knowing the Fae, there's no telling what her size is. She seems to have normal human proportions.
Oh, when you say Fae, this is one of the actual Fae, not a changeling.
It's not a changeling. It's not a true Fae either. It is a fairy creature. So don't expect to get, like, turned into a frog. Well, okay, she could probably turn you into a frog, but not with a flick of her wrist. She's probably gonna have to tie you down and force feed you some fucked up jelly beans or something.
Yeah.
I move towards the tree. What sort of payment are you looking for?
Hand me those unfinished tokens. Don't worry, I'll find who owns them.
Oh.
I'm very good at returning what's been lost.
So, after spending that 20 minutes going over these tokens, do I have enough of an idea that they might still be linked to people and be able to cause harm to them?
They are definitely linked to them. It's unclear whether they could cause physical harm, but you could hardly find a more aligned object than an unfinished token. In the same way that you might collect a handful of hair to ensure protection, she could gather these possessions and be able to find their owners easily. Or quite possibly implant suggestions into their owners. Things like that. Nothing so crass or direct. But still, quite possibly extremely dangerous.
What is it that you want?
I'm just helpful. I want to help you. But my lips are sealed until an offering is given. And based on what you have, that's the only offering you have of value. Make a delightful wits and empathy roll. Anyone listening?
Certainly.
I'm just hearing Sketsy, or what are they called? Ah!
Jesus. On one die, 3 successes.
Nice. Very nice.
On 4, just 1. That's impressive.
Yeah, I was. Thank you, roller.
Was that a chance? Was that a chance roll, or
No,
is
it was
that...
not.
If it was a chance die, the 8 wouldn't have counted for anything. But it would have
Yeah.
still been 2 successes on a chance die.
Which is nuts.
This bitch be lying.
Oh,
Why
I
you
also...
always lying?
This is perfectly appropriate. I do have the subterfuge specialty for detecting lies.
Yeah, this bitch is full of shit. Cap, could you move that detecting lies over to empathy?
Sure.
It never made sense to me that, like, manipulation and subterfuge is making lies and composure and subterfuge is detecting them. Like, what the
Then,
fuck?
do I have your permission to move 2 of my skill points over into empathy? Because that's the entire reason why I took subterfuge.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, no. My apologies.
All good.
But yeah, no, this bitch is full of shit. Like, well, okay, she's telling the truth insofar as she did see what happens. And if you give her those tokens, she does have to tell you. But any pretense she has of doing this out of the goodness of her heart is a gigantic crock of bullshit so large that it could fertilize Uncle Maggot's farm.
We know that you will only help us if it's in your best interests. These tokens are far more valuable than a single eyewitness account. Don't sell them short.
An eyewitness account and a finger in the right direction. An augury cast in your favor.
Still seems like we are giving more than we're getting if we hand you all 3. If our understanding of these tokens is correct, we only need to find one of them.
You underestimate the powers of my auguries. I'm not sending you after the lost foundlings. I'm sending you after their captors.
Mm.
He looks to Alex. And the rest.
That the purpose of the tokens is to help find them. And if this is... It seems that this is their purpose.
Given what can be done with these things, I've heard that your kind holds the letter of their word.
This is true, yes.
What if the stipulation that these not to be given to others and not to be used to cause harm or to change the nature of the ones that they are linked to?
I am more than willing to accept these terms. A very, very, very long tendrilled finger comes out from behind the tree and begins to write up a brief contract in the dirt. Everybody give me... Oh, fuck. What's the lawyer roll?
Oh shit.
Is it politics?
I think politics is lawyering.
Is it wits
So,
or is it
4 points in that.
What would it be? Subterfuge.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So
Would it be manipulation?
So I'm gonna say,
well, I would think it would be wits would be the
wits is detecting, manipulation is creating.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna say wits and politics to detect any legal fuckery in this manipulation plus subterfuge generated contract.
Okay.
Oh, rolling that.
So
Like,
I look at the others. Any other? Essentially, what I had said is that they're not to be, given to anyone else, and they're not to be used to harm or influence against their nature. I look. Any other stipulations?
None that I can think of.
I'm not very well versed in Fae, so that sounds good.
You didn't take a bird law degree?
I really should have, so I knew we were going here.
You could have gone to bird school, which is for birds.
Man, this school
The
is
t-
for the birds.
The tokens should not be given, sold, or traded. I feel like we have to cover all of our bases.
No problem.
This is
And
probably standard operations for them.
there is an amendment that is added.
Alex feels like she's missing something, and she is trying to rely on her instincts. I'll spend a point of willpower if necessary to
Ooh.
to
The
activate my my instincts and pierce deception.
nice.
I'm sorry. Derek, oh no.
I just look at the others and say, "This may lose us favor with the Bowery King."
But finding his lost people may gain it back.
I see little choice if we're to recover them in time.
You said that time is of the essence, and
I'd rather lose a little favor and bring them back alive.
He
Yes.
stipulated that time was of the essence because the
Oh,
the
true.
ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da.
Because the hedge was being pierced.
Right, but you
Yeah.
guys realize that's just a drill being pushed by a Roomba.
I mean, time is still of the essence.
That's true, but there's no
They
longer the sword of Damocles is no longer hanging immediately over your head.
Instead, we have an invisible one.
Right. Instead, you know you're gonna sit in that chair. You just don't know when your ass is gonna touch the cushion. But Yusuf, you can't see anything particularly wrong with this contract?
Other than the fact that we're making it at all.
Right. Like that does strike you as, oh god, oh dear sweet god, but like you're not giving away like
I'm not giving away anything of mine.
Right, you're not giving away like your children or whatever, anything like that. Like the contract is clearly pertaining only to the tokens and only to their creators and their owners, etc., etc. Pause, counter, comment, etc., etc. But the question is, who will sign?
Not it.
I will sign.
Goes.
I'll do it. Fine.
Do you kneel in the dirt and sign your name on the dotted line?
Yes.
As you do, the words turn into dust that engulfs Alex, and it goes to the Bog Witch with the tokens floating ominously. And she says, "There were 3 of them who came in the night. One of them was more beast than man. A right proper savage, if ever there was one. There was another, too smart by far, turned mad by what she's known. And the last, the one calling the shots, had more weird coming off of her than one even such as I. With no effort whatsoever, they set through the hedge, and they caught all of them little foundlings, one by one. And that great big galoot tossed him into a giant sack and took him away. Then the smarten came back and set up that little doohickey over there. It's been running for a couple of days now. Poor little foundlings got lost and all turned around. And when I came down to help them, they turned away and said, "No, don't need you. Look what happened to them." Now,
And where are they now?
Dawn knows where they are now. Dawn knows where the three big uns are. But I've cast her little augury, and I can point you in the right direction. The one who knows them real good. He's another smart one. He likes to sit and drink in the house of the smiling bee. And he drinks a white, frothy drink.
Were any of them of changeling kinds? Or was the beast more like me?
The beast weren't like you. No. Well, in a way. Not enough of you. And the one with the weird, I think she opened the way. And the way she calls the shots, it's like she's a living contract. You see what you signed. Imagine if that came to life and started walking around.
She's very dangerous, then. We'll heed that warning.
They're all dangerous. I ain't too proud to admit they're more dangerous than I. Especially when they're all together. These three like each other some, but I know there's more, and they don't all get along. Anyway, I told you enough.
Are they from the place that the others were fleeing from?
Gracious no. And with that, the dust settles in her hands. The tokens shuffle into her blackness, and she sinks into the night.
Seems like a successful contract.
Smiling bee. Does that mean anything to any of you?
Easter, you have eidetic memory! There is a little coffee shop. It's got to be the one she's talking about. It's called Honeybees!
Honeybees!
Honeybees is a coffee shop that has, like, the mascot for it sitting on the sign is a bee with a cup of coffee that looks like it's fucking caffeining out to fuck. Like, the bee looks way too jazzed. Just like, ah! Like, eyes popping out of its head, shaking around with this fucking coffee
Completely
cup.
buzzed.
Oh my god, such a buzz.
I got you.
And the baristas there are very excited. And like, you can't say honeybees without. Oh my god, yes! You found it! You found the logo for honeybees! And oh my god.
Yeah.
And like, you can't say the name without fucking shouting it like a moron. It's not honeybees, it's honeybees!
There's 4 E's.
There's 4 E's in honeybees.
Cap, maybe your true calling is not artist, but sort of internet investigator. Just join a detective agency.
This meme foo is so strong.
It is very strong.
You guys talk amongst yourselves about what you're going to do while I go urinate again.
Certainly.
This cup of tea is running through me.
Mr. Great Bladder.
Let's see.
All I
Where?
can say is that Ronaldo would not survive in a corporate setting.
No. He knows this.
Well, I mean, it's like 2-hour meetings, you know. There's a certain gating factor.
Let's see.
Meme Foo, find the qualifications for a successful manager from Dilbert.
Oh boy. Got you.
Hello?
Hello!
I challenge Cap's Meme Foo.
Got it.
You found it, yes.
Here we go. Come to Papa.
Established. Ronald is not leadership material.
Oh yes, leaders start their careers as morons. The successful moron will have a very high bladder-to-brain ratio.
Alright, under other, I'm going to put signed a contract with a fairy hag.
Bog Witch, I think.
Bog Witch.
My knowledge, even having your name on one of those things is risky.
I know.
It just means you're now in the Rolodex.
I'm a little less afraid of that than I should be.
Oh man, I wonder if
It's like when you put your name on an internet mailing list.
exactly.
You might get a lot of spam moving forward.
All this basically means I'm going to be subjecting myself to a couple weeks of sitting in R&D while Task Force Valkyrie tries to figure out what physical effects having a contract has.
Also, excellent picture choice for the hag.
Yeah, no, that I had it open on my other monitor the entire scene. It was so cool.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know what that means. I made a character named Jeffrey Radcliffe who has 1 dot in cosmic privilege, and I don't know what the fuck that is.
What?
That feels like things just kind of work out for you.
I think the thing is he's just so white, like he gains all white bonuses. Like he gets both my dad owns the dealership and hey officer, what's the word?
I've been rereading some of the really old Elric comics, and I've been like looking at it, and it's just like, wow, was Moorcroft really talking about white privilege that early?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find this lost forgotten sheet.
Because you don't get whiter than Elric.
No.
And literally, he would not have been able to survive if he wasn't born phenomenally rich and powerful.
Anyway, the night is growing old. Will you all turn in for the evening?
Yes, please.
Everybody get all your gubbins back.
Yay.
Oh, how does willpower restore? Just is it the acting in accordance to your virtue and vice?
That's one way. You can also you get 1 for resting.
Oh, yay!
Pardon me, I'm looking through a fucking huge pile of character sheets.
You're fine.
So many campaigns, so little time.
Oh, I found Ivan's sheet. Oh, Ivan, you old bastard.
I love old character sheets. I found who have I got on here? Let's see. I've got Rain's sheet on here. I've got Merrick's sheet. I think I lost Ian's sheet when my hard drive crashed a few years ago.
I stumble across old hard copies of like handwritten character sheets from like 2 decades ago. That's always fun.
So my mom works from home, and it's a fairly new thing. Like she's been doing it for a few years now, but she always has a notebook for scratch paper. And when I was little, she and I would always play the Nancy Drew games, and so we'd have these spiral bound notebooks that we'd write all of our notes for the games in. And she stumbled across them looking for scratch paper, and she's like, "Oh my god, I remember these games. We had so much fun."
And holy shit, I found the sheet I'm looking for. It's on a vampire sheet, but it doesn't matter. Ready then. We're going analog with this. So, you all rest up. Still no reports about your sent off objects.
Fair. It's only been a full day.
Exactly.
Well, is this from session 1 where I wasn't?
Yes.
Okay.
Session 1, the one where Alex wasn't.
Is Alex supposed to send reports? She doesn't seem like a report type person.
You can send reports if you want, but Amir trusts his field agents.
Okay. So I see her as being like an occasional, like very terse single word, like it's okay type thing.
Moon's haunted.
Moon's
Trash
haunted.
notebook.
It's haunted.
Cox pistol. Moon's haunted. Well, the day passes and night comes. Honeybee should be open for a few more hours.
Drop him! Oh!
Wonderful, because I could use a cup of coffee.
Do y'all head off towards Honeybees?
We
Yeah.
do.
Marvelous. Y'all head off towards Honeybees, and actually coming in this hour makes things shockingly simple. The baristas haven't started cleaning up yet, but there is a whole lot of looking at the clock. There are 2 regulars who are just sitting at a table chatting, but there is one gentleman who is not particularly well dressed. He dresses like your high school algebra teacher. He's not thin, that's for certain, and he is definitely balding and does not have any shame about it. And he is there reading a book, and he is drinking a little drink that he takes
trying to
little
say
delicate
no.
sips from. What did you say, Dave?
I said, why would he have shame about balding? What are you trying to say, Ronald?
I don't know anything about that.
I sense some heroism here.
Hairism is definitely happening. But
Adding a new section of my notes.
the barista looks at you and she's just like, "Oh, geez, 4? Yeah, sure. What do you want?"
I'll walk up and order a cappuccino.
Ooh, burning the midnight oil, huh?
Something like that.
Just black coffee.
Used to order something fun and kind of bougie, like a lavender latte or something.
Oh my god.
Tips well and enjoys every sip of it.
Chelsea latte. Extra large.
But who do y'all accost?
Alex looks confused by some of the drinks you're getting, but
Well, I'm picking up my finished beverage. What is that large balding man drinking?
He is drinking a vanilla chai. You can smell it from here. Evidently, he's been refilling the cup over and over again. Cuts down on waste, he'd probably say. And as it turns out, there is a small supply of books next to him. He appears to have already read 2 today.
so they had said something. The Bongwitch had said something about the person we're looking for being smart. So Alex will make a beeline.
Ha! Beeline.
But just
Do you sit down next to him, or do you like try to threaten him?
No, I will sit down next to him.
He looks you over and just says, "I didn't have an appointment for you, but that's fine. Walk-ins are always welcome. How can I help you?"
We are looking for people who have been taken.
So you're experiencing some loss anxiety, is that it?
No, we are experiencing people who have been taken against their will and who are in danger.
Then I suggest you call the police. That's who you usually call when you're dealing with a kidnapping like that. I'm a therapist of sorts. I'm not some sort of private investigator. You must have me confused with somebody else.
We understand you might know something of the ones who took them.
Oh baby Jesus.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Alex, what is your resolve?
3.
Understood. Ooh. Okay. That's very interesting. Alex, do you still have that embarrassing secret?
No, that was left over from.
Okay, I was just making sure. That being said,
She should have a flaw, but I couldn't think of one. I mean, it's really flaw is she's Aspie, and the police would probably want to ask her a lot of questions.
that's
So
true.
that's right.
What exactly did you ask him? Or you said that you think he might know something about the people that were taken.
The people who took them.
Uh-huh. That's a very serious accusation, miss. I assure you, I don't consort with anyone who would go about doing something like that. Would you? Before you can even stop to think, you say, Kali's Raiders doesn't kidnap people. And he says, interesting. Okay. And he pulls out a little notebook and writes down Kali's Raiders. And now, these raiders, who do they raid?
Am I compelled to answer his questions?
You're not compelled to answer his questions. By all means, you could try to change the subject.
Those who deserve it.
Interesting. Deserving implies a code. So, at the very least, they have a code of ethics. And I get the distinct impression that their ethics are very strong. Which is good. Good ethics builds a strong backbone. Weak ethics and goals and objectives can pale in comparison to them. If you don't have a strong foundation, you can't afford to build higher up.
Do the ones that we are looking for have ethics?
I'm sorry, but I have no idea who you're looking for.
3 people. 1 very strong bestial. Another very intelligent, educated, but mad. And the last, the one who binds the others.
No. Interesting. Very interesting. So, you've created this scenario where there are lost people being taken against their will, and you raid these villains to liberate them. That's fascinating. I'm curious exactly how deep this fantasy goes.
I'll put my hand over his on the book and meet his gaze and say, "All the way."
I see. Interesting. Please understand, my young dear. I'm torn. I'm torn between withholding what you want and the prospect of throwing you to an even greater beast. Perhaps one even greater than yourself. I'll have to think about it. Unless you can give me some sort of compelling reason why I should tell you here and now.
People's lives are at stake. People's more than that. No one deserves to stay in bondage.
Aw, I didn't think that you'd care. Still,
Is that some sort of sex joke?
no, it's more of a racial joke, if you catch my meaning. And I'm sorry, but neither of those seem like compelling reasons to help anyone. If they weren't sufficiently clever enough to evade these traps and snares, then they deserve to fall into them. That's a simple fact of existence, my lady. But even so, I do now have a greater understanding of your perspective.
Your perspective is flawed. It is that the strong should always take advantage of the weak, and the clever should always take advantage of those who are not clever.
I see no flaw in this.
Why can it not be that the strong and the clever are obliged to help those who aren't?
Who's doing the obliging? That necessitates an obliger. At which point, it's simply an even greater moving the lessers.
What if it is merely to make the world as a whole a better place? To
As much
smooth.
as much as I've had fun toying with the ideas of utopia, and perhaps reaching for the orb is more important than grasping it, uh, these thought exercises can be fun, but are by and far too dull for me.
I do not understand your utopia. I just know that the world is bad, and it is made worse when the strong abuse the weak.
That's an interesting perspective. Do you have any data to back that up?
She looks at him blankly. Alex is absolutely the wrong person to talk to this guy, but she was no way she was not going to.
Right.
That's true. Yusuf's kind of holding himself back, nervously sipping the coffee and waiting for you to, I don't know, get attacked or be in some sort of stress.
I think
She thinks he's speaking English.
Yeah.
I think you and I are done here. Maybe you should send along one of your friends. I don't do group therapy. You understand. Unless, of course, there's another point you'd like to try to make.
Yeah, Alex does not have the words for the concepts that she has. So she
A pleasure doing business with you, miss.
she walks over to all of them seem well educated. Vaguely sense that maybe Easter or Holmes. I'm not sure about Yusuf. He plays with words.
Then
To
we'll
what
have to
end?
choose carefully.
Hmm. The end seems to be his own cleverness. He seems to like figuring things out about people. He seems to see that as a form of transaction. I did not give him a great deal of information that he can use, but he and I do not communicate well. He is selfish.
Hmm.
If you're good at wordplay, perhaps one of you could speak with him.
This seems in your wheelhouse, Easter. See how he responds to charm.
Let's try our hand at it. And Easter sort of, she doesn't, I would say she sachets over a little bit.
Mrs. Elysium, yes?
That it is.
Pardon me, miss.
She produces a business card.
Marvelous. I may have to contact you in the future.
Be my pleasure.
Fantastic. But yes, this isn't the first lavender latte that you've ordered.
Oh, certainly not. It's always fun to see what these places do to try and keep relevant on social media.
Now, your friend over there told me the most startling delusion. Perhaps it was a dream she had? Captured people, terrible villains come to sweep them away, and she seems to think that I'm the key to helping. And she's not altogether incorrect. I have great skill at helping many people, especially when it comes to deep-seated psychological issues.
Have you spent your whole life here in this city?
No, I like to travel, but I do the same thing everywhere I go. I came into a bit of an inheritance that allows me to live a life of idle complacency, so I try to fill my coffers by performing therapy on the cheap from your local coffee shop.
Now, what it reminds me of is I spent a little time out west with the various evangelical groups there, and when it's like when the Amish children come of age and they have to spend a year on the outside.
Yes.
and more often than not find the outside unwelcoming and return to what they've known.
Right.
That seems to be a bit of what's going on here.
Really? What makes you say
But,
that?
well, people that go from these environments that others find maybe cruel or strange or downright supernaturally odd, that they leave and feel like they want to come back. A bit of a loyalist to their cause.
Oh, yes. I understand completely what you're talking about. I feel confident in saying that such entities are certainly not involved with your dear friend's problem.
Oh, well, that is a relief. That's a bit above my pay grade.
Yes, definitely. Although what I believe is the problem is also well above your pay grade.
Tell me more.
Oh, please. It will take far more than a kind word or some idle flattery to loosen these lips, but I appreciate it very much, Miss Elysium. So now that that's been put to rest, fair enough. But how are things at the Abbey, Miss Elysium?
Smoke and mirrors. A lot of buzzwords.
That's not what I heard, Miss Elysium. Come now, you have to be honest or I can't help you. Smoke, mirrors, buzzwords? Hardly. The only buzzing going on there is the sound of neonatal teenage pederasts running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Yes, Derek?
Huh? What?
Oh, I thought I heard you groaning.
I misspelled something,
Oh,
and
no.
then I fixed it.
Okay, you're good. Easter, either he
Doesn't seem like it's working out with this guy.
Easter, either he knows or that was an extremely well-educated guess.
Does sound like a very well-educated guess. I finally got it. It looks so good. Reese was just showing off some cool contacts.
Oh.
Took me 3 weeks, but I finally figured out how to get them in.
They're really like large.
Yeah, the mini scleras.
Yeah.
They're intense.
That was a very good guess.
What can I say? I like to keep myself informed about the local social elites.
And those begging for the scraps.
It's important for people like me to keep one step ahead of things. Speaking of, perhaps you could do me a favor.
Oh?
Yes. Sadly, I can't be everywhere at once, and unfortunately, my duties call me home. But I've got a little bookshop down the road. If you go there in 20 minutes, say, I think I'll have more detailed instruction for you there.
Oh, I love a good bookshop.
I'm glad that there are still people who read these days. Now then, excuse me. And he gets up. Oh, right. Yes. Payment. 2 sessions. That'll be $50.
Easter blows him a little kiss and takes the $50 out of her purse, trots over and puts it in the tip jar.
Yes.
Pay it forward, Miss Elysium. Pay it forward. And he also pays for like an entire day's worth of vanilla chais. And then leaves the building with his roly-poly body. 20 minutes later, you guys go to Charles Books. Easter, you've never seen this place open. But waiting for you, there is a manila envelope taped to the front door. It is addressed to seekers, or should I say hunters?
Interesting.
Do
Shall we
you
open it?
open the manila envelope?
Let's open it in the car.
You guys get into the car. You open the manila envelope and it explodes. No.
Well, that was a short game.
No. You open the
Boom.
manila envelope and inside there is a cutout. The cutout reads, "The Scorpion Gang are a blight on Chicago's streets, and the Jackals only match. Get rid of both of them." It's signed, once again, in cutout, the Sphinx.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with either of these things?
Am I?
No.
Vaguely, Easter, this is a big city. There's like a bazillion gangs. You can't keep this
I
shit
know
straight.
I've heard the name somewhere, but
Maybe the Scorpions killed someone's grandma. I don't know. Maybe the Jackals disemboweled a kid. Fuck, you can't keep track of this shit. Not even your eidetic memory can help you keep track of all of the random street killings that happen every single day in a World of Darkness version of Chicago.
right?
I knew we'd be trading in favors.
What do you get the genius that has everything?
More knowledge.
Don't offend him.
He offends himself by thinking that he already knows everything.
Oh god, don't tell him that.
I'm glad I didn't get a chance to speak to him then. Somehow I felt that it would require a more delicate touch.
That is true.
Well done, Easter.
My pleasure.
And now we just need to figure out exactly what he wants from us, living up to his name by speaking in riddles.
Oh no, like the Scorpions are just a gang.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and the Jackals are another gang.
Oh, I was overthinking it already.
Nope. It's not so much that the Sphinx asks riddles, it's so much that the Sphinx has power through knowledge.
I want to make sure that I wrote that down correctly. Did the Sphinx say get rid of them both, or was that more specific? Was it dispose of them both?
I think he described it as remove the blight.
Remove the blight.
Like, they're a blight on our city. Remove it.
I
Thank
just
you.
like jumping through hoops.
That makes two of us.
By all means, you guys don't have to do the dirty work. There's always the
think-
possibility of trading down, as it were.
I believe that our priority list should be updating Omar to the situation at hand.
That seems perfectly appropriate.
Is there anything you leave out of Omar's report?
No, I tell him everything.
Oh, shit. Do you call the mailman?
Yes.
You find, you find Ivan's website. It is filled with English and other, like, poor translations.
I mean, I do have points in linguistics, so...
Yep. A lot of it is poorly translated from Russian. It has all the telltale signs of this dude is trying to put Russian through English and Google Translate, and these are the telltale fuck-ups.
Gotcha.
There is an image of him in uniform flashing a thumbs up, but his head is cut off from the photo, so you can't see it. So it's just a large Russian man in a very old, tattered uniform giving a thumbs up. But the page is adorned Peregrine Mendicant style with justice, liberty, civility, edification, perfection, the mail. Poctalon Couriers is the name of the site. And it's just like, I will take anything, anywhere, guaranteed delivery. The sanctity of the mail is sacrosanct. No interference. Like, it's very fucked up and weird. Do you have a delivery to declare?
I do, unless anyone stops me. Going once,
Go
going
for it.
twice.
The application asks for a small sum, like literally $4. And in 5 minutes' time, a large Russian man approaches the car. It just like has a hand extended.
I nod my head to him.
He nods back.
An envelope and 4 singles.
Thank you very much for your patronage. It will deliver promptly.
Thank you.
Do you guys wait for a response?
Oh, we might as well.
They'll be able to find us even if we go.
That's absolutely true. Alex, right, you are vaguely familiar with him. The dude has male senses, okay? Like, you have spirit senses, he has male senses. You've heard of him making insane deliveries. Just like, oh yes, I knew where it went. How did you know where to deliver it? Well, it had the name on it, and I know where to bring it.
Yeah, he's one of us.
But not too long, you get a reply.
Oh, boy.
Still unaccustomed to working with others. This is a different experience.
Took as much responsibility as I could for what happened in that hedge.
Oh. You should not have.
Eh,
Alex didn't actually read the report.
no, I know none of you did. I offered, and you all were like, nah, you know. We trust you.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh.
I feel like he might have forgiven pure human error a little more readily. We won't get any of the, you should have known better.
So just as a note, Alex is absolutely the wrong person to put in social situations that do not involve death threats. But she will put herself in that position unless someone, if there's any hint of waiting.
Not very patient, are we?
No, she's just very direct.
That's fair.
Now, if you had said, "Oh, let's watch him for a while," she would have done that.
She's like a puppy. She needs a mission.
She needs enrichment.
She does. She needs enrichment.
She needs to save people's lives, and she wants to do that.
Saving people is a
lives
form
is
of
her
enrichment.
enrichment.
Love you, babe.
I love you. Fucking big gay schmuck.
Yeah. So these jackals, you've heard rumors, Easter? Oh.
Nothing to remember offhand. I wonder if Holmes' new friend over at the precinct might know any more.
As the letter is delivered, it opens with a smell of foul flatulence.
Well, I was kind of expecting worse. Not much worse.
Did we just get this?
Yes.
You did tell him that there was that the hedge was not being harmed.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I was sure to mention that.
So we just got blacklisted?
You have been blacklisted from the Bowery King's court.
Well, you know
Fair
what?
enough.
One less plate to juggle.
About to say,
Guess we'll make nice with the prince.
about to say that's one less plate to juggle. You did get a valuable piece of information in exchange for it.
Let's see how this lead with the Sphinx turns out, and go from there.
Yikes.
Perhaps this was all a mistake. Maybe we should have used our own device. Too late. Never mind.
It's pointless to think like that. You just waste energy. We did what we had to do. We thought it was the best at the time. We were honest with him, and now we can all move forward.
About to say, if you had lied, he would have taken revenge instead of just getting upset.
That's what I felt.
Yep. There is definitely a point where if you had lied to him, there definitely would have been a point where he sent his boys to help and Taryn Logain style, they just left when you needed them most.
Oh,
Fucking just like you guys are hanging from the cliff and you're like, oh, Scar, help me up. And fucking.
Is that a Dragon Age
Long
2 reference?
It was Origins.
Dragon Age 1, but yeah.
Oh.
Like,
Fuck
you're
that guy.
hanging onto the cliff and Scar's got your claws and fucking Cookie says, fuck off. And shoots you in the head with a 38.
See, now we don't necessarily have to worry about that for a while.
That's true. You don't. Well, I mean, you don't have to worry about that at all. Like, there's no longer vengeance.
He didn't,
There's just...
he didn't say he was going to get in our way. Just
No.
said he's not going to help us.
Exactly.
Which honestly is best case scenario, and I'm sure that his tune will change somewhat if we manage to bring back his people alive.
That's true. Like, the changelings are creatures of mood.
This is not the first time I'm certain that tokens have been exchanged with a hag.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no, man. Fucking hags taking tokens? Bitch! The fuck you think hags do?
So just out of curiosity, now that it's too late, what did we miss that's gonna make that a really bad exchange? Just curious.
I guess we'll have to see.
No, it was that if you had successfully read the contract, it would have become clear that the hag can't point you at the kidnappers.
Okay.
She can just point you towards a lead on the kidnappers.
So not much of an augury.
Not much of an augury at all.
But gave us better than nothing to go on.
This is true. You did get information about the kidnappers, what sort of people they are, roughly how many there are, at least 3, definitely more, but not many more than 3.
We got insight into their faction where we had nothing before.
Exactly.
And we were kind of at a dead end.
If we didn't hand that over and make that deal, we would have left the hedge with nothing but a star metal drill bit.
Which was the making of.
Hmm?
We should probably see, if anyone knows anything about it, particularly, what it is.
I will send
Periodically, when we're in areas where there aren't people, I'll switch back to wolf form and just see if I can get any sense of I imagine I still have the scent from what I had lost before.
Yes. There's no sign of any of the there's no sign of any of the lost changelings, but there is one faint familiar scent.
Oh.
Make
One of the 3?
One of the 3, yes. They're not in the bookstore, but they have been here before.
All right.
That being said, with that little clue and that little quest, I am cutting it here.
Do you want my roll now?
Yes.
What does spending willpower do for roll?
Spending willpower allows you to re-roll all non-successes or add 3 dice to a roll before or after. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It just adds 3 dice to a roll before or after.
Before or after?
You roll. So you can roll and then be like, I spend a willpower, and then it gives you 3 extra dice just as a little... Or you can spend the 3 beforehand. Or you can spend the willpower beforehand and, like... Let's say you're using a shotgun and you get 9 agains. Then that whole pile has 9 agains.
Sweet.
And then the humans among you can risk a willpower, which gives you 9 agains, but if you don't get a success, you erase that willpower from your sheet.
Eek.
You put everything on the line. And if you fail after you put everything on the line, there are dire psychological ramifications.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Also, never do it.
You know enough to know that the tracks lead in and then they lead out. This person has only visited here. And a little more investigating and poking goes to show that they don't always go in through the front door. And more so than that, this person has been looming, lurking, and watching.
Can I check? Um, can I check to see if the trail goes anywhere once it leaves here?
You succeed in finding that it doesn't go anywhere.
I walk up to where the wolf is gesturing. I guess you found something.
And I go to the end of the trail and I just like scratch.
On the building or on the ground?
On the ground. I'll go back indoors and I'll change back to my human form. One of the ones from the hedge was here some time ago. He's been here more than once. I can sense he's come and gone several times. I'm not sure which one.
5 successes gets you this. It smells like a woman.
I think it's the mad one.
Interesting. Do you think that she is...
Any sense that it is human, or would I be able to tell if it's Fae, or...
You can smell the crazy on her. The madness is apparent. It's so powerful, it has an odor all of its own.
Her trail does not go anywhere. She's been here more than once, and she's comfortable enough to come and go front and back.
It smells vaguely like a mage. That's what 5 successes will tell you.
So, he knows more than he readily admits to.
Of course he does.
So perhaps we do have to jump through his hoop.
We're going to have to do that. We're going to have to impress him.
Well, I'm not sure what these gangs are like and what sort of blight they are. If they're not ones who do active harm, I'm reluctant to
We'll make that judgment call when it's time.
Holmes, you're feeling particularly hard-boiled. Give me a wits and empathy roll.
Wits and empathy, alright. 2 wits. The answer is 2 successes.
Whew. This Charles guy is hard to get a read on. But there's one thing that you know about him. It's written all over his fat Chevy Chase. He's definitely the kind of guy who's willing to die for the sake of his ego. You put a gun to his head. You put a gun to his head, and he says, "Pull the trigger," and he means it. He would rather die than admit defeat.
Okay.
You can
Well-
tell in his smug smile and his idle complacency, like, if Alexandra had gone war form and was like, "Tell me or I'll kill you," he'd say, "Do it.
Do it, you won't.
Do it. You won't. You know you need me."
You can't kill me in any way that matters.
Ooh.
You need to play his ego.
I've been studying Horospexy.
Oh,
Let's leave that as plan B. perhaps.
Sorry.
If you spilled his guts, and
Alex
used
wouldn't know
as-
that word.
Nope, you know that word.
I was
Oh,
about
okay.
to say with your shamanism.
Like, if you killed him and used his entrails to just cast auguries, you'd probably get spotted by someone or something, but you would get clues. That being said, now we end.
That being said, that would probably be a point of humanity in there.
Oh, that's more than a point of humanity. That's a humanity 4 violation right there.
Nice.
Ooh-wee.